Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in. Everybody, welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We're excited to bring to you this episode. What have we got on the cards today?
We are diving into a listener's request.
Excellent.
She loves our sayings. You know who you are, listener. She's like, what are your top classic sayings that you use with your clients to take back their power so that they can heal and live life resourcefully and healthy and happy? So that's what we're going to dive in today. We're going to look at the 5 coaching frameworks that can help you take back your power. 5 coaching frameworks to bring back your power.com. Yeah. Okay. So as we dive into these coaching frameworks, we're going to help you understand what they actually mean, give you real life examples of how they do show up in every day, and how you can live them or use them as a framework in order to be able to heal, get healthy, be happy, and have great relationships in your life.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So
what are they?
Let's talk about, because someone might be like, what are you talking about, coaching frameworks? So
what is a framework?
Let's dive into the basics of what it is first, and then we'll go over the top 5. So a coaching framework is basically a structured approach or a model that can guide you to facilitate your healing, your change, and your growth. Essentially, they're frameworks that help you get more of what you want. And there's some big problems that we see when people get stuck in body burnout. So they're often disconnected with themselves. They can show up as victim mindset. They might not use that word, but it's kind of like, I feel stuck. Why is this happening to me? I'm so confused. I don't understand. And there's that disconnection with self. They're often stuck in perfectionism, people pleasing, all or nothing type patterns. And they might know what to do, but they're struggling to actually implement. So these coaching frameworks can help you gain a different perspective of yourself and of life and how life works, which then opens up when you have a new way of seeing, it opens up new possibilities. So essentially that's what a coaching framework is. It might feel a bit uncomfortable. It might feel challenging. It might feel confronting, looking at yourself through the coaching framework lenses. And that's because neurologically we have a map of how we see ourselves in the world. So when we start pulling on the pieces of the map, your nervous system, your brain is like, oh, we don't like this. We want everything to stay the same. So I'm just sharing that at the front, that as we take you through the 5 top coaching frameworks to take back your power, if you do feel any discomfort, that's okay. That's actually a good sign that you're coming up against a neurological ceiling, which will keep you stuck unless you can break through it. So lean into it, feel uncomfortable.
I actually have one more problem that we see, and it's popping up often at the moment with my current set of clients, and it's around perception about self as they go through the healing journey. My favorite frame, not so much a framework, but frame, is compassionate curiosity. This is loving, playful, easeful, enjoyable investigation, and so now the reason why this is such an important thing to perception to view the coaching framework is shameful, I'm not enough, over responsibility when it comes to investigating, like finding this accumulation of patterns that are dysfunctional, and that just being heaped upon them as more evidence of their not enoughness, but it's really challenging, not impossible, challenging to coach through that unless you have this compassion to yourself. It's just like, hey, be curious, but compassionately curious, not shamefully curious.
Maybe even adding a bit of play as well. It's
Yeah.
like, ooh, what are we going to find today?
I find that really hard because I'm a very serious person. I never make jokes at all. I'm very serious.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, so I'm just going to rattle through some other benefits of using these coaching frameworks so that as we're going through them, it's like, okay, I could see how these could help me. So number one, it can create a new awareness. So a new way of looking at yourself and your issues, and it can help you identify exactly how you have created unwanted patterns. Again, not to be shamed about it or embarrassed or frustrated by it, but to give you the power to be able to change them. So what you don't know, you can't change. They can also help you take radical responsibility. So take full responsibility in the part that you have in this problem. Often when we get stuck in our own kind of like map, it feels like it's everyone else's fault, or, even COVID's fault, or that parasite's fault, or that food's fault. This is why I'm stuck in body burnout. But when you can actually look at yourself through the coaching frameworks, then you're able to respond. So I love the word responsibility. When you break it up, it's like when you can take full responsibility that you created this, even if it was unconsciously, you now are able to respond.
Yeah, I like that last piece, able to respond, response ability. And so when you're a state of judgment and I'm not enough, and it's shameful thinking about your patterns, your ability to respond is kind of, it's there, but it's almost like you got your back turned on that ability because of that shameful thinking around yourself.
Yeah. And this is the next benefit to it. Helps you to move beyond your current story. So whether it's a shameful story, a guiltful story, an angry story, a prove or defend story, a blamey story, a stuck story, these coaching tools can help you stop getting trapped in justifying your situation or putting blame outside of you, and instead actually focus on solutions and what's possible, and create different stories that are more resourceful, that help you get more of what you want rather than staying stuck. Coaching frameworks also help you to reframe challenges. So powerful reframing questions can instantly shift your perspective and open up new possibilities to help you get out of disempowerment or victimhood. Even just hearing us talk can create an instant shift in your psyche, in your unconscious mind. It will create an even bigger shift when you allow that to sink into every cell of your body and take action with it, implement, embody it. Okay, so Tony Robbins, everybody probably has heard of Tony Robbins, but I love this quote of his. So the quality of the questions you ask yourself is directly related to the quality of your life. And this same applies to the frameworks in which you are seeing yourself in your life. So the quality of the frames or the perceptions of yourself that you are looking at yourself through is directly related to the quality of your life and also your health. Okay, so let's get into number one coaching framework, above and below the line thinking. We'll probably spend the most time on this one because it will help you to understand the other coaching frameworks, and they really become a ripple effect when you can embody above and below the line thinking. So do you want to give a little recap on what this actually means?
Okay, so I've got the Chris version of this, and then I heard this told to me from Jamin Fraser, for those of you who don't know. And so shout out Jamin for expanding my awareness to this exact model. But the Chris version of this is, if you can imagine a line drawn, and below the line is kind of victim-y thinking, negative perception stuff, and above the line is it's more empowered, more positive ways of relating. Now we have four. This is the Chris version. We can we have things that are totally within our control: thoughts, feelings, words, actions. And you can have thoughts, feelings, words, actions below the line, and thoughts, feelings, words, actions that are above the line. So, you've got things like I have to, I need to, I've got to, I should do, are words that are below the line. And above the line is something really simple like I get to, I can do.
I choose not to.
I choose not to. Yeah, or I choose not to, or I choose to. Victim mindset is around I have no agency, I have no ability. The empowered mindset is around I can choose my words, I can choose my thoughts, my feelings, my words, my actions. That's how I talk about it.
Yeah.
There's other ways, of course, as well.
Oh yeah, like the other words are cause and effect too. So below the line is life is happening to me. I'm the effect of what's happening around me, or the results I have is because of what's happening around me. Whereas above the line is like I'm actually causing what's happening for me, not to me. I'm creating this. Even if it's the result that I don't want, I'm still creating this, and that is getting you above the line.
Yeah, and just to build on that one, honey. So what I was saying about shame. So you can have above the line sounding words like I'm choosing this, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing. That above the line kind of language, but below the line feelings and emotion around that. It's like, yeah, I'm choosing this because I'm broken and I'm not enough. I'm rubbish. I'm awful. Things like that. You can be above the line in something that you say, but deeper than that underneath the line.
Yeah. So let's get into the nitty gritty then, because there's different ways that things show up below and above the line. So we'll start off with below. So if you're living or thinking below the line, it can feel like you're stuck, like you're disempowered, and like there's the illusion of no choice. Everything is happening to me. I have no control in this. This is a common coaching conversation that I'll have with new clients, especially who are mums. Not all mums, but I have seen it as a theme that it's like, oh, I've just got so much on. I'm taxing them here and I'm working over here and I'm not getting enough sleep because I have insomnia and I'm exhausted. And so I'll do a little reframe in the moment. I'm like, oh, yeah, but you're choosing that just as a little poke of the wound. And they'll get really defensive initially. It's like, what? No. If Philly, you don't understand, like there's nothing, I can't change much of this. Like I can't sell my children. And so it can feel like there's this illusion of no choice because of the story, the map that they have created for themselves. And so then therefore it's like, how the heck do you get out of that when there's no choice? When everything is happening to you and you feel like you can't change anything. This can also show up when people are really stuck in their health issues and they're feeling really hopeless. I've tried so many things, nothing has worked. So that can sniff of illusion of no choice, where it's just like, well, I've tried everything, there's nothing else left. So I guess, I don't know, I'm that case that doesn't heal. All right, well, I won't invest in myself, or okay, well, I'm just going to quit and I'm going to learn to manage or like live with these symptoms that I have. It's like, cool. Even if someone has tried everything, which I actually don't think is possible in this lifetime, maybe there's nuances that you haven't yet embodied in terms of the things that you've tried. But that is how it can show up as below the line. If it's like, there's nothing left. Or like, I'll just get my hopes up if I'll try something different. Blaming, it's not my fault, externalize the issue can show up as below the line as well. And this might be, again, like if I use a family dynamic or maybe a workspace, it's like, oh, well, it's their fault. It's my boss's fault because he doesn't understand that he's putting so much work on me and I'm like so burnt out that my brain has stopped working properly, or my husband's so annoying because he snores all night and I'm not getting any sleep, and so therefore like my body feels worse the next day. So this is like blaming, externalizing the issue. I hear this too with health issues. It's like, oh, well, it all started when I got the vaccine, or it all started when I got glandular fever. So I guess that's the thing. That's what's causing me to be sick. Or even like, oh, okay, I got a lab test and I've got adrenal fatigue or leaky gut. Oh, that's why I'm sick. That's still below the line. I mean, it might, again, it's nuanced and subtle.
We've done this quite a few times. With people, so we can spot these little sneaky ones that you kind of don't guess.
Yeah, but essentially, like the below the line is you're externalizing the issue, even if it's something that's happening inside of your body, you're still not. You can feel stuck in that symptom or that label when it's below the line energy. It's like, well, something else is going to have to fix me then. It's not my fault that I'm sick like this. And that's where we start peeling back the metaphysical layers. It's like, well, does everyone who gets glandular fever or COVID turn into long haul COVID or have years of chronic fatigue post 20 years? No. So let's look at what you are doing or how you are being that is causing your immune system to not function very well at the moment.
What's your role? What's your part?
Yeah. Excuses can come up in below the line thinking too. Often like those like, oh, I can't heal at the moment. I can't do that program. I can't work with that practitioner because I have no money. I don't have enough time. I've even heard this. I've had too much trauma, or like, oh, I'm just not smart enough. Like my capacity is so low at the moment that it'd be really hard for me to be able to do your ending body burnout method program, for example, or a client might be working through Spark. Oh, it's just, which is the metaphysical side of healing. It's like, oh, it's just too hard at the moment. Just like, yeah, my brain's not working. I
love it. My favorite little quip is, what do you expect me to, what are you wanting from me here? What are you hoping for when you say that? And often it's, I just want you to agree with me.
Yeah, like
what are you going to get out of that?
Sometimes people just want some compassion. I actually see it as like as the role of coaches. If we give compassion from a place of like, yeah, it is really hard. Yeah, okay, yeah, don't worry about doing that yet. We actually become a codependent. It becomes a codependent relationship, really, where it's just like, well, I will allow you to stay stuck. Yeah. Rather than shine a light and say, hey, how could you actually move above the line?
To be clear, can you say that again? So what you're saying here, I get you, but someone else might not get you. It's like when we let someone off the hook, when they say, oh, I'm too much of a hard case, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like we've noticed that we feed into their codependent dynamics if we do let somebody off the hook. Yeah.
So it's actually, so although like I use the word compassion and then I stop there, it is the most loving thing that we can do as coaches is to hold you in the space, to shine a light on what you can't see, to help you get above the line so that you can heal. Even though it might feel like we're heartless when we say, I don't know, I think you might have money or I think you do have time, or okay, you have brain fog, but other people have had it too and have still been able to heal. Sometimes too, the excuses might show up as like, oh, it's so much harder for me because I've had so much, I don't know, childhood trauma, or it's so much harder than me because I have neurodivergent children.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, like, totally get it. And it does add different challenges. I'm not going to say it's harder though. It's just different. But if you're using the excuse of, oh, it's so much harder for me, so, I'm not going to be able to get the results, then you're staying above the line. You're staying below the line, stuck, disempowered. couple of other ways below the line shows up can be entitlement. Where you kind of get a little bit like angry. It's like, I should be better by now.
I deserve this.
I deserve this. I've worked really
That's all
hard.
I've done.
I have spent tens of thousands of dollars. Like, I should be better by now.
I did this protocol to the T. I deserve it. I put in so much effort. I spent this much time, this much money, this much energy, this much blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I had a beautiful client. I mean, if our clients are local to us, then sometimes they might have in-person sessions, but she brought her bag of supplements and she pointed at it with her arms flailing. It's like, awesome. I've taken these perfectly. Why am I still not sleeping?
Awesome.
So that's, again, like, it's subtle and it's nuanced, but that is showing up below the line because it's entitlement. It's like, well, I did the thing. Why have I not got the result? And again, it keeps you stuck. It keeps you disempowered because then you feel like you're not taking responsibility for deeper stuff that could be affecting your health issues.
We're going to talk about this later, but the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And so
let's talk about it later then.
Let's talk about it later. But no, I just want to, about the supplements and that sort of stuff. So, the way you're showing up with those supplements and with the flailing arms, and it's like, see this, if you could say to that person, it's like, well, are you angry? Hey, what is that? What's that raised voice? What's these arms all about?
Well, that was the theme of the coaching session.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, one. I mean, this isn't the one last way of below the line, but it is a common one, and it's a sneaky one because it's often hidden.
Sneaky.
So it's where you're holding on to stuckness because there's some secondary gains around it. There's some benefits around being unwell.
I need it.
Which doesn't make sense consciously. It's like, what? But I hate anxiety and I hate fatigue and I don't want this bloating and I'm sick of the migraines, sick of the body pain. But often it's happening more unconsciously. It's like, well, there are some benefits of being unwell. And so...
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it's a get out of jail free card, or it can show up as that. So some examples would be, I have anxiety, so therefore I can say no. Because before I couldn't say no because I was a people pleaser, but now I have like crippling anxiety or chronic fatigue and like I just can't anymore. So then therefore it's like secondary gain. Now you can say no. You haven't consciously been able to do it in the past because there's all these patterns happening underneath you, but your body and your mental health is now giving you that get out of jail free card. Mm-hmm. It could be a significance thing. It might be like, I don't know, when I'm sick, I get attention.
Care for me, love me.
Yeah.
You don't care for me. You don't love me unless I'm sick. And if I'm not absolutely wiped out, you don't care for me.
Yeah, and again, it's very rare that these are the thoughts, the specific thoughts in your conscious mind, but there will be little versions of you that are still not feeling like you are being seen or heard or loved or accepted. Mm-hmm. And so then therefore the body's like, well, we'll get it through this way. It can show up with people on workers' comp or disability pensions. And by the way, when I say disability pensions, I'm talking about conditions that can be resolved. Where there might be some healing, but then it's like, I don't know, like, am I capable enough of being able to make money? Am I capable enough? Like, is my body going to be able to handle working full time again? I don't know. Okay, let's put the handbrake on, stay stick, and so I can have some security, some financial security. We have seen this with clients.
Oh, so many
times.
times.
Where it has blocked full resolution of healing. Like
I think of veterans and working through the whole industry of receiving payments and benefits and things like that for serving your country and working and blah blah blah. And so that entitlement that you were talking about before, that 99 people out of 100 would probably agree with you. You did a great job and you did the things and nice work. Now to get the benefits, you've got to tick the boxes, do the things. And that includes going to doctors. That includes the industry of taking the medications. You want the payments.
The red tape keeps you stuck.
Yeah. And so because of that, you decide in your mind, unconsciously, almost always unconsciously, right, okay, I need the surgery. I have to have the surgery. I need to perceive this as I've got no choice in the matter. I've got to go and do it. Anyway, and then or Centrelink payments. We're in Australia. We have Centrelink. You receive Centrelink payments only if you do the stuff, tick the boxes, and it stops people from taking responsibility and
freeing themselves,
cutting the umbilical cord to the government or the payment scheme or the thing like that. It's just a very in your power thing. But you know what? It's so risky and scary, and of course, I'll meet you there with that one. I see it. I see you. I see the pain. I see the freaking outness. What a risky decision you're going to have to make. That's going to take great courage. And you know what? That fear of making that decision and the fear that it might confirm your not enoughness often holds people paralyzed. Don't let that be you.
Okay, so what are some examples of getting above the line, being above the line?
Yeah.
So 100% choice. So the opposite of that is I have no choice. Then above the line is, okay, well, I have 100% choice in anything that I am doing and how I am living my life and how I am being. So I'm choosing everything. Even when it feels like you're not, you're still holding space for yourself above the line for saying, I am still choosing to be a dragon mum. Or I am still choosing to not take my supplements, but I'm choosing this. Like, I'm not pretending that I'm not saying I can't or it's too hard. I'm choosing it. So that's kind of where you start when you start taking 100% choice of the things that you are doing or not doing that you don't want to be doing or not doing. It's like, I'm still choosing this. And then that frees you up because it's like, okay, cool. Well, now there's more possibility. Now there is more choice. Okay, well, how can I start making incremental changes around choices that are going to help me to heal and be healthy and have the life that I want?
Yeah, and when you flick that perceptual switch over, you realize it's not that you can now choose or you choose to now choose. You've always been choosing.
Yeah. You've
already been doing it.
Yep, 100% responsibility, which we've talked about earlier, so I won't go too much into that. But that's when you're moving above the line. It's like, I am taking 100% responsibility for my own health and my healing, and also I'm taking 100% responsibility that I have created these patterns, these symptoms, this environment, this relationship. It hasn't been all me because there's, I'm a dynamic human being living with other people and in an environment, but I'm taking responsibility for the things that I have created, including my health issues, which is great. Because then you're able to change them. It's like, well, if I created this, then I can create something new. I can rewire. I can reprogram. I can heal. I can rebalance.
No failure, only feedback. Just stop that guilt and shame. You've designed the system. You've designed this to get that output. Somehow, some way, somewhere, you flicked the switch, you installed the program, the pattern, you made the choice, and now you've got what you got. So it's not that when you try to take responsibility in your mind and you implement some changes and all this sort of stuff, and it doesn't get you the outcome that you expect and that you want, that you feel like you deserve, it's not a failure, it's feedback, back to the drawing board. Okay?
Step by step, line upon line. Above the line is, I use this reframe all the time because sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my body's decided to talk to me. I don't know why these patterns are showing up again below the line. Above the line is so you can ask yourself a question to get yourself above the line. What am I pretending not to know? What am I afraid of? Fear unexamined remains the monster. So when you can get clear on what are you afraid of, what are you pretending not to know, then you then receive the answer and you can take action from there.
Lots of options.
Lots of options. Okay, last one. So below the line can often show up as it's too hard. It's just too hard. I can't do this. I'm stuck in this. You can switch that out for it's not too hard. It's just unfamiliar. I haven't done this before. So naturally, it's going to feel hard, but it's just unfamiliar. And when you can break it down into the neuroscience, so our brain, especially the amygdala, our nervous system, it hates change. It doesn't like the unfamiliar. And so when it feels too hard, you can actually just relax into your own physiology and the science that we know of, that it's like, oh, I'm just having a primal response from the monkey part of my brain that is freaking out that it's too hard at the moment. It's not too hard. It's just unfamiliar. Okay, how can I start creating familiarity around this thing that is going to help me to heal and become healthy and get more of what I want?
Love it.
Okay, next 4, and we'll whiz through these a bit faster because they really are on follow-on effects from above and below the line thinking. So is this the one that you started off with that you wanted to go into? The way you do anything?
This is my favorite.
Okay,
it's just
you
the
say
way
it then.
the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
So what does it mean?
Yeah, so my way of thinking about this is you want an outcome, and that's to be healthy, happy, lifestyle that you want, relationships, connection, calm, all this sort of stuff, symptoms, resolution. So you try something, and what we're looking for is patterns everywhere. Now, the cool part about patterns is the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Not as a hard and fast rule, but it's almost always going to be the case. So let's just roll with it. And so we think, look, anytime you're feeling frustrated, annoyed, triggered, where there seems to be a bit of a block in one area of your life, the way you show up to that, the way you relate to that, the way you be when you're experiencing that is probably almost always going to be the case in another context of your life. You reverse engineer it as well. And it's if you want to get to your deep root cause, but you kind of getting stonewalled or it's a little bit of friction or something like that, you can look at something same or similar in another area of your life. And sometimes just by going that back door, you can get to the resolution. I don't know if I've talked too vague.
We'll give some concrete examples. So perfectionism patterns, all or nothing thinking is really common. And most people think about that in terms of like a workspace. It's like, oh, yeah, I have to do everything 100%. Yep. And so then it's like, well, where else do you do that? And how is that serving you, or is that blocking you? Is that keeping you below the line? So it's very interesting when people start looking at their patterns, they'll often see that, oh my gosh, no wonder I'm not well. I've been trying to heal with perfectionism patterns. I've been trying to be 110% with my diet and my sleep hygiene and taking my supplements and even doing the metaphysical work. I've been ticking all the boxes. But it's still coming from a very fearful, unresourceful energy. And so therefore it's really hard to heal. You can see it in prove and defend patterns too. So probably the predominant place this might show up would be in relationships, where it's like, my husband's so annoying, or, oh, that person at work, oh, I could just like wring her neck.
The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So my husband's so annoying, so therefore, are you a wife? Great, all right, sweet. So the way you get frustrated at your husband is the way you get frustrated at yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So then it's like, okay, cool. Well, how else are you proving and defending yourself to yourself, which will block your healing, because that means that you can't ever be fully honest or vulnerable with yourself. It'll probably show up in like the way that you're working and even your finances and your self-care. Yeah. It's like, I'm so annoyed. The kids are taking all my time and now I can't go for my walk. I hate this. And like even that thought and that feeling is keeping you in a dysregulated state in which the self-care probably won't do anything anyway. And so then you enter it with this anger energy. It might also show up, another example would be hiding, running away, ignoring. This can often show up predominantly in repressing emotions in the past. It's kind of like, oh no, don't look into the past. Yuck. Or, oh, I'm having an uncomfortable emotion. Just sweep that under the mat. So then if you're thinking about it as a pattern, where else is it showing up? Are you trying to heal, but you're running away from yourself? Are you trying to have a healthy marriage or friendship, but you're constantly ignoring it or pretending it's not there or hiding from it? It could show up in your workplace as well. Okay. I think you talked about like how you can take back your power with this one. Like I think predominantly is just being honest with getting clear on this isn't just a pattern here, it's a pattern everywhere. And then getting clear on, well, what's driving that pattern? What's the deep belief about self that's causing this pattern in the first place? And then addressing, reprogramming that.
Yeah, I think about it like a floppy disk. You remember floppy disks? Who's my age or older? You grab a floppy disk, you install it, and maybe you run, I don't know, I have a Mac. I don't really do this. But back when I had a Windows computer, I'd install Windows. I'd install programs. I'd put the floppy disk in or the CD or whatever, and it installs a program. Some point in time in your life, you installed the program that got you the output and the pattern that you've got right now. So don't blame the patterns below the line. Have a look at the why you actually installed that program, that what need that's meeting for you in the first place.
Yeah.
That's how I go about it, is what needs are you trying to meet?
Okay, third one. What you allow, you encourage. I learnt this one when Chris said it to me one time and I wanted to slap him in the face.
Oh, nice. Domestic violence. The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
And I didn't. I restrained myself. But
the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Well, I was very angry. Yeah, it was kind of like, I am this dragon mom,
but
like I'm going to repress it and bottle it up so I won't hit him.
Did I say this? Did I say this one? That sounds like a Philippa issue. Did I say that? That's my other favorite quip.
No, that came later.
Awesome.
So what you allow, you encourage. So I have shared this in my book, and I'm pretty sure I've shared it in at least one podcast episode, but it was still very clear in my mind the day that Chris said this to me.
Awesome.
And I didn't ask for his coaching, but he said it. So I was really angry because I'm like, I'm sick of doing all the housework and all the cleaning and all the caregiving.
Which is fair enough.
And I stormed down and I said the thing, I'm sick of this, things need to change. And Chris just looked at me calmly and said, what you allow, you encourage.
Amazing.
And I'm like, what? How? And then I let it
Given
sink.
all the useful marriage tips, guys.
I let it sink. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. Well, one, like, I ran a lot of kind of like control freak, those perfectionism patterns where I just do everything, or if I tried to delegate or outsource it, they didn't do it fast enough. So then I jump in. And so essentially I was encouraging no one helping me. And this is very interesting. It was just a couple of nights ago. I was talking to my mum,
Awesome.
so I can see where I got these initial patterns from.
Oh.
And she was talking about doing all this life admin stuff, and they're about to go traveling, and so there's a lot of like documents they need to fill in. And she said, I have come to the realization that I do everything for Tom, my dad.
Everything.
I do everything for him in terms of life admin. And I said to her, well, Mum, like, what you allow, you encourage.
Awesome.
And she was a little bit miffed at first,
Excellent.
but then she's like, oh, no, I can see. So essentially, like, how do you take your power back from this, or how do you use this frame to take your power back? It's like, get clear on what you are allowing, especially those things that you dislike, and take responsibility for it. Because if you have been training people to treat you in the way that they are, whether you're conscious, most of it, the time it's unconscious. You're unconscious that you are training everyone in your life to treat you in a certain way. So getting clear on that. Oh, actually, I'll give you another little example. It was a client who, she's like, oh yeah, I know I'm a people pleaser. Yep, and I know it's an issue at work, but I'm just like so sick of everyone asking me things all the time.
Awesome.
And I used the frame, and she got a bit miffed as well.
Excellent.
It's like, what you allow, you encourage.
It's a little bit of a barb, but it's kind of it's essential. It's essential data.
Yeah.
For the coach.
Yeah.
To get across. Yeah.
Yeah. So be aware of what you are allowing. Let go of any blame or excuses you have around this. You're allowing it to happen. You've trained yourself or others to treat you in a certain way. You're encouraging it. So we can come back to the responsible piece. What you take responsibility for, you are now able to respond towards. And then I get clear on what do you want to allow instead. And so that's going to include having hard conversations, and it's going to, with yourself first and foremost, it's like, what do you really want? Like, if you could live your life on your own terms, what does your day look like? And then you're starting to set your boundaries around that, and you're following through on them. Okay. Fourth one.
Awesome. Oh, this is another one I've used.
Do you want to read it?
Frustration with others is a frustration with yourself. So, if you, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So therefore, if you're frustrated with something or someone, then that's the way you're frustrated about yourself. You know, so what's an example?
Well, I use this for
more
myself.
of a you issue. No. That's what I say. Instead of frustration with others, frustration with yourself. My Barbie kind of, not Barbie as in Barbie and Ken, but barbed wire kind of like little prongy way of saying it is, oh, this sounds like a Philippa issue.
Yeah, okay. So if we have a source of tension and I'm like, Chris, blah, 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 blah.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, well, let's play tennis. This sounds like a you issue. Dong.
And by the way, I'm very discerning now as to whether I'm taking full responsibility for it being my issue, which sometimes it is, or if it's like half-half, and then it's like, no, come back here. We're going to keep playing tennis because you got some things to work on too. But
Catch me.
But it will show up, like it will show up when you're annoyed by someone else.
Yeah.
So whether you're feeling triggered, disappointed, angry, needy, frustrated, if you experience that, then you can use this frame in order to be able to take your power back. Because if you stay below the line with this, like if it's like, oh, but it's all them, it ends up being quite blamey. It's like, oh, well, they need to change, and like I just need time out from them, and this is so annoying, and I have no control over this. So this frame helps you to get above the line and actually look at yourself and think about, what's going on here. I've got a couple of examples. Actually, this is a recent one that has popped up. Like, it's not a new thing, but one of our daughters just like, she's very loving.
She's very loving.
I'll use the word clingy sometimes.
She's very passionate.
And sometimes, you know, I'm in deep work or I'm cooking and I'll get triggered by it. I will feel frustrated. Yeah, can I have a hug? And I'm just like, so
which is sweet. It's so beautiful. But yeah, keep going. I love it.
So this is how I'm using the frame. So it's like, well, if it's not an Elsie issue and it's a mummy issue, it's a me issue.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling frustrated? What am I frustrated in and of myself? And I know, like, a big thing that I have been working on for a long time and has progressively been getting better and better, but there's always some way to go, is just like being able to be fully present. So she ends up being this little pressure test for me. She's like, well, are you really? Are you really fully present? Are you really, like, is it really safe to slow down?
Did she say that?
No.
I'd be like, oh, child of a coach, victory right there, if my daughters can say that.
No, this is a conversation I'm having with myself. And so then, therefore, my frustration with her diminishes, because it's not her that's annoying me.
Yeah.
It's me that's annoying me, because this is what I want. And then I have to have a conversation around, okay, what part of me is currently resisting this at the moment? It also happened, I used this, I don't know, maybe it was last year or the year before, but we were getting some trolls on socials just on an ad I was running, which had like so many lovely comments and stuff on it. But there were some that were just like, who even are you to be recommending this type of dietary advice? It was around being able to eat dairy again.
Well, my name's Philippa Billett. I'm a university medalist.
They're like, haven't you heard of someone Mosley who says dairy is so bad and no one should ever eat it? And I noticed initially I was actually getting triggered. So I'm like, oh, I'm being frustrated by you. Oh, okay. And that actually led me on some deeper healing work around my teenage years and fear of rejection. So that is how you use that frame.
I love it.
Okay. And then the last one is annoying people are gifts. What does that mean, Chris? It's kind of like a follow-on from a frustration with others is a frustration with self.
Okay.
But slightly different.
All right. Well, life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you is another frame. We could easily have talked about that. And so there is something that you can receive when somebody is giving you annoyance or frustration or pressure on you. There's something that there's a blind spot that they are allowing you to see without them being their inherent self or being in this experience. You wouldn't see what you can see. It just makes it so much easier. It's like the mirror. That person is the mirror. This isn't to say, I just want to be really clear on some of this stuff. It can sound like we might be making light of other people doing evil, wrong things like abuse or neglect or trauma and things like that. We aren't saying that, and we never say that. But there is still in these situations and examples of hardship and frustration and annoyance, there is a growth that can be received by you, by this experience and this person. Like Daniel's son in Karate Kid, he was bullied by old mate, and he could easily have run away. He could easily have fled the town or country or whatever, but he didn't. He rose up. He became somebody bigger that he always could have been, but it took the Cobra Kai dude, I can't remember his name, to transcend and become this version. He became the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. He became transcendent.
And so the gift in that is growth. But until you see the gift and experience the great gift, there is the risk of staying below the line, where it's like, well, I'm the victim in this annoying relationship or in this traumatic relationship.
He could have run away. His mummy and daddy could have saved him and protected him, moved him to Colorado, or he could have, the bully could have said, you know what, Daniel-san, I'm actually a big fat jerk and I need to repent. I'm so sorry. And would have made for a rubbish movie, but, that didn't happen. Daniel-san rose up and he became a better version.
And
you can too.
And you can too. And can you see the energy shift in that as well? So it's like, oh, okay. So I'm currently experiencing a challenging time with this person. What's the gift in it? Okay, where's the growth? And then you can actually start seeing them in a different light where it's like, wow, thank you. You're not accepting of poor behavior, but it is it is actually a thank you. You have opened up a space inside of me that is wounded, that needs healing, and I'm going to work with that and grow through that. This is a more nuanced one, but it can show up with parent and children as well. So and I'm talking about adult children, by the way. So you being an adult, that if you essentially the work that we're doing with our clients in our Ending Body Burnout Method program is to reprogram, let go of these deep fears that you have about yourself. And they are often created in the space of early childhood, before the age of 7. And, you know, usually the parents are involved in that in some way or another. Not specifically, you still chose to believe something about yourself, but the gift of being able to cut ties with the parent, which is the chief validator. It's the person, even if your parent is now dead, it still can end up energetically being the person that you're constantly trying to get significance, love, appreciation from. And so the gift in that is when you can cut the ties, you become your own parent. You reparent yourself, which means you can become the queen or the king. You know best. The parent-child archetype is always the parent knows best. You must do what the parent says. When you cut ties with that and you grow through that, then it's like, I know best. Yeah. Like, I'm an adult now and I get to wake up and grow up and know exactly what I want and what feels good. I know best.
I have responsibility.
Yeah. And then you're taking that chief validator badge off the chest of the other person, and you're putting it on yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
Above the line.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there were some punchy ones. I mean, we probably could have done a whole podcast on each of those, which maybe we'll do in the future.
Probably could.
But hopefully there has been at least one little nugget in there that you could start implementing or using, experimenting with. And we'd love to hear how you go with it. Send us a DM on Insta or Facebook or email.
We didn't quite talk about this one in this episode, but we've alluded to it. So healing isn't a journey and a destination. It's a relationship. Most important is a relationship with yourself. So therefore you can close your eyes, pick any one of those frameworks that we talked about, journal on it, reflect on it. If something comes up where you're not okay and that you're noticing something that was before too hidden and now it's not, and you've uncovered it and you shone a light on it, fantastic. Don't just gloss over and ignore it. Become who you could be, you know? Rise up, transcend above that.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Boom.
Goodbye.
Have the best day ever, everyone. See ya.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.